Greetings, scrappers. It is I, Count Zacula, returning for another semi-alliterative intro as dictated by my contractual agreement. Lend me your ear for a moment. Oh, just one though. You can really keep the other. Wow, these things really bleed, huh? Anywho, now I know you are fans of this pod, which is in turn no fan of the machine. However, these peculiar players on this pod against the machine, are in fact fans of another pod called Severed Fate that left us far too soon. R.I.P., you may say. And if by R.I.P. you mean returning podcast, then you may just be psychic. For we have the devilish delight of sharing this terrifying trailer with you, heralding the returns of the Sultans of Spook themselves. Let's listen.
In the dark, canopied Shutterwood Forest, 3 heroes must somehow prevent the violent werewolf tribes residing within from descending into all-out war, while struggling with their own issues of destiny versus self-determination. From the award-winning sound designer behind the Dimension Door podcast comes Severed Fate. This October, everywhere.
Frightastic. Let's all be cool ghouls and like, subscribe, and rate on our preferred podcast app of choice. Take it from me, coming back from the dead ain't easy. And now, without further ado, this is Pod Against the Machine.
Pod Against the Machine.
Welcome back to Pod Against the Machine, the only Pathfinder actual play that comes back from the dead over and over unless you stab it with your favorite spoon. I'm your host, and here's everybody.
Surely there must be other favorite spoons.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shovel. Surely we can call a spade a spade.
You just called it a shovel.
It was a little bit of shovel humor. It was a setup for the shovel joke, because it's also a spade. Anyway.
Or is it a trowel?
I'm really digging myself a hole here. Hey, everyone. Oh, wow. Real tough crowd.
My favorite spoon. Does anyone have a favorite spoon other than me? Mine is, it's a child's spoon that I got from Fred
Mine's a
Meyer.
child's spoon too.
It's got sharks on it. It says chomp chomp. It goes with my chomp chomp bowls. It's Fred Meyer.
I do not have a favorite spoon because all of my spoons are identical spoons from a silverware set. I have a favorite pair of chopsticks that are like a really nice black cherry wood. Does that count?
I have some rainbow chopsticks.
We have 4 different usable spoons, of which I do have a favorite class of spoons, but each spoon within that class is equal in my eyes.
Good for you.
Yeah, I do like the spoons that I have because they have they don't like narrow at the front. It's more kind of shaped like a shovel, and I like it.
Those spoons are shovels, is what you're saying.
And we've come back around.
Justified.
Yeah, we're really trying to up our pre-show banter game, and I'm here for it.
So is it like an all spoons or shovels or all shovels or spoons situation?
All spoons are shovels for sure.
I mean, given a large enough mouth, all shovels are spoons.
Great counterpoint.
I mean,
yeah.
let's take a couple of minutes and look up the definition of the word shovel.
What was that gal's name who could put like a whole can of soda in her mouth? She could probably take a shovel.
Yeah, I forgot about that person.
Oh yeah, that person had like the largest mouth in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, Spoon is totally a shovel. Now, is a shovel a spoon?
Absolutely.
Ah, spoons must be used to eat food. Or stir or serve. Whereas shovels can use other material.
See, I like the delineation of when it no longer fits inside your mouth.
That is the only thing that matters as far as I'm concerned.
Some ladles are spoons.
Right in.
Okay. Previously on the program, our heroes investigated some of the huts in the little village after they disposed of the Bloomin' group. They found some furs wrapped around a set of bone-carved figurines that looked like maybe they were part of some ancient game. After that, they went up onto the balcony where Tarazi had tracked the skinless child to. They found not one but two skinless children who had the ability to scream silently, which not only made them disappear, apparently, but also made some members of the party hallucinate that they were being attacked by even more of them. So a weird fight ensued where Brixby fought something that didn't exist, and Levi fought something that didn't exist, and everybody else tried to figure out how to fight things they could and could not see. But eventually, our heroes were triumphant, after which they found that there was nothing else up there, so it was time to check out the ziggurat. They climbed the steps of the stepped pyramid, checked out the dais at the top, and then threw open the door, and they found another chitin in there, a weird semi-corporeal bluey guy. They threw up a wall of force in front of him to stop him from getting out while they figured out what to do. He seemed content just to buff himself while the party hung out on the other side of the force wall. So they buffed themselves a little bit, dismissed the force wall, and now we got a fight on our hands. He just smoked Kira and gave her some slammy doos, then sapped a little bit of Tarazi's strength, and that's where we are now. It is Kira's turn.
Yeah, gosh. Here I thought Bluey was a kid's cartoon, but alas.
It isn't anymore.
It's a chitin.
We took that.
That's ours. Cool. I think you said I'm able to attack from here. Yeah. So I'm just gonna do a full attack on this guy from where I am. Using a different dice. I hope this works. Hey, it did. That's a 19.
Sounds like a critical threat.
Indeed it is. Oh, also I'm going to be raging, not for that first one, but for the second one. If that's allowed. How do we feel about that? I can also rage after my turn. Good, great. 19 plus 22 is 41.
That sounds like a hit.
Yeah, okay. 41, second attack. 14 plus 18 is 32.
That will also hit.
13 plus 3 is 16, and...
No.
Okay, 7... Okay, 16 does not hit. How does a 25 feel? 25 feels low.
25 does not hit either.
Okay, so that's 2 hits. Let's roll it in the guy. Roll.
He does have blur, so I will need concealment on both of those.
Shoot. I forgot about blur. I don't even have a D100 out. Or, 2 D10s to make a appropriate dice. Oh, yes, I do.
How the Blurntables have turned.
Oh,
I'm the blurry one now.
63 and 98.
Someday I'll benefit from the blur. Someday.
Yeah. That's what I always say. That was 2 hits. 71 points, Sam. Not nice.
That's not very nice at all. Alright, well, it doesn't all go through as per usual, but that's a lot of damage. So he's hurt.
I'll take it. That's me.
Alright, it is the Snake Squad's turn.
All right. So Tarazi is going to think that he knows this creature has been buffed. So for the first time in a combat in a long time, as a swift action, he is going to activate the Null Blade, making it a +2 weapon. And then he is going to full attack without power attack because he's feeling a little bit weaker. Alright, that is a 33, a 34, a 32, and a very low roll.
That sounds like 3 hits.
Yeah. And let me see here. Alright, yeah, I was double checking my own crit range because no time has passed. Not quite. One off. So because I hit with the activated Null Blade, let me roll Concealment, see if any of those actually hit him. Because I do get to make a Dispel Magic check against your little buff. First one misses with a 14.
This is what it feels like to have concealment actually do something. It's glorious.
67 on the second. 85 on the third, so 2 hits. It's been a while. What's the bonus that I get to use on Dispel Magic with this weapon?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's the caster level of the Null Blade, which I should be able to find, right? Shouldn't I?
Yeah, I wish I could see it. Doesn't tell me. Caster level 11.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, I got there eventually. I'll roll the Dispel check first. And then I'll roll my damage. It's a natural 19 for a dirty 30.
Alright, well, you've got a dispelled effect.
And then, thanks to Lead Blades, even though I'm not power attacking, it's still going to be 48 plus 10. 37 points of Null Blade damage.
Is that 1 hit or 2?
Sorry, it's 2 hits. It's actually 39. I don't have it in my... I didn't tick on that it's activated, so it makes it a +2 weapon.
Alright. So not all of that goes through, but it's still... like, this guy's looking quite hurt.
Awesome.
Quite hurt.
Levi can't really get in there. I know he can mechanically squeeze. I don't feel like it's worth it to squeeze and get like a single chomp. So he's just going to hang out here and ready to bite if the chitin moves within its reach.
All right. Well, sounds like Levi's uncertain. How about the uncertain Alwyn?
The uncertain Alwyn just saw Tarazi get touched with a weird ghost hand, and he is going to attempt to help with that a little bit by reaching out and touching him himself and casting Lesser Restoration. So he will give him back a d4 of that strength damage. Which that is a 2. So not great, but every little bit helps.
Thank you.
And otherwise, he is going to stay right where he is.
All right. That will bring us up to Brixby.
Brixby, ever effective in this fight, is going to delay until after Asuma.
All right. Well, Asuma's going to do some Ishuda. She's going to shoot the thing a lot of times. I should, write a script for her 5,000 shots because it's really quite a lot. She missed 2 with the blurs. She still shot him twice.
So the blur wasn't dispelled?
No, the blur is not a spell. It was whatever the spell he cast on himself is gone.
Okay.
It's
just naturally blurry.
He's just a naturally blurry kind of guy. Is Brixby reinserting after Asuma's finished?
Yes. Brixby is going to step 10 feet to the north, level a finger, and fire off a Scorching Ray. I got 3 rays as well. Okay, decent rolls on two of them. That is a 19 for a 30 and a 16 for a 27.
Can you roll me a spell resistance?
Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't mean to interrupt your rolls. You probably say the last roll too.
Oh yeah, the last roll was only a 2 off the die for a 13. It's touch, but my spell resistance... That is a 21.
That's going to fizzle.
Alright, so that fizzles, and that is the end of my turn.
All right. That brings us back around to the big semi-corporeal friend, who is looking pretty bad right now. Well, he starts to look a little bit better just as he's standing here. You know, he's putting himself back together. He's picking himself up by his bootstraps. I think just given how many people are standing just all around him, it feels like the kind of time where he's gonna expend a couple uses of that smite and just channel some negative energy. So I'm gonna need a round of will saves.
From everybody?
Yeah, everybody. You're all within 30 feet.
Yeah. Rolling bad and I have low will.
Starting from the north, how about Alwyn?
Alwyn rolled an 11 for an 18.
That's going to be a fail. How about Snake Squad?
Natural 19 on both dice. Looking at a 28 for Tarazi and a 23 for Levi.
Those are both passes. How about Brixby?
A 10 for a 20.
That's a fail. Suma fails as well. How about Kira?
Also a 10 for a 24.
Kira passes. Those who pass take 11 negative energy damage. Those who fail take 22 negative energy damage as he just spitefully blasts out a little bit of hate for the group here.
As a treat.
Yeah, just, sometimes you're just feeling a little mean. You know you're not going to kill everybody, but you just want to hurt them a little. That will bring us up to Kira. You just got hurt by this thing. And, yeah.
Kira's starting to look a little rough, but that's okay, because we're still close enough to full attack. That is a 35 to start.
35 is a hit.
Okay, 36 will also hit then.
That's too high.
Dang it. Is this another... No, that's a 29. 29.
29 will not hit for Kira.
Dang it. And a 27 on the last one, so 2 hits.
Just the 2.
Roll it in the guy again. Roll 66 plus 50. Couple 5s, couple 6s, 78 points of chainsaw damage at this bloomin'.
Well, even though it doesn't all go through, and even though what goes through then only counts for 3/4 because he's partially incorporeal, it's still enough to take him down.
Woo!
Job.
Stab him with a spoon.
Alwyn will then immediately start... Oh, actually, yeah, first he runs over and whacks him on the head with a spoon.
Just a quick thwack on the top of the head with a spoon, and the combat is over.
Yeah. Like the Grim Reaper in that old YouTube video.
Woo!
And then he's going to immediately start healing everybody.
Is a neurocam in there?
No apparent neurocam in there. He does have some stuff.
Get some stuff.
It looks like he's got some scrolls. And despite his shirtless avatar, he is wearing some armor.
Let's cast Read Magic and take a look at those scrolls.
You're looking at a scroll of Expeditious Retreat, See Invisibility, and True Strike.
Alright. Brixby scoffs a little bit at their low level, but puts them in the bag. All usable spells. I guess let's just both roll some spellcrafts. Oh wait, that assumes that his armor is even magical.
Oh, it sure is.
Okay. Well, I only rolled a 26.
And I gotta look up the caster level on this thing.
But I'm sure Alwyn could do better.
Yep. He can take a quick break from healing, because I think everybody but Kira should be pretty close to full right now.
Yeah, I am full.
And he got a 10 on the die for a 29.
Let me just see. Yeah. I think with the 29, it's enough to recognize that this is a +1 half plate of invulnerability.
Ooh.
Sure.
Which grants damage reduction 5 magic. Which is kind of wasted on a Velstrak. It's a bit silly.
That is... So we just found, what, some, like, banded mail, right? Or something like that just a little while ago that Tarazi's rocking?
Mm-hmm. +3 banded mail.
But is this even better, or is half plate just, like, ridiculous? Because... Or, Kira, is this better than what you're wearing? It's like a... So there's a +1 half plate of invulnerability.
I don't know if Kira can do heavy armor. Which I feel like we've been over before. And
I think she can wear medium.
Anyone can, right?
I think
Tarazi's wearing heavy,
right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You want to... I mean, you just want to start rolling with the half plate?
Yeah, because you're doing +2 banded now. Is that what you're doing?
+3.
It's +3, so I'm reluctant.
Yeah.
It would be a net AC down of 1, because the half plate is 1 better.
Yeah.
But the
But
DR...
that DR5 is nice.
But magic, which is also,
Yeah.
like, you know, it matters against, like, a lot of things, but...
Yeah. Like anybody with weapons at this point is going to get through it, but it's going to block a lot of natural attacks.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I bet you it's probably pretty valuable, so we can always just throw it in the bag, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can always just sell it if we have to, because it's, like you said, it's probably worth a lot.
Oh, it actually got AC down by 2, because there's no dex spell allowed. So...
I figure your fighting style's a bit too mobile. And this is, well, not too heavy for you, big stuff. Just, it would get in the way of that, like, really impressive arc that you've got going on with your swing.
I like my armor.
It's really nice. So, while we're up here in the ziggurat, do we see anything down here, or is this just, like, a message, like a love letter to us as the players in the bottom right-hand corner that's covered over?
You can actually see, like, from up on top of the ziggurat, you can see down behind it, there are what look like 4 dead bodies that just happen to not be on the map. They're where the compass rose is approximately.
I was going to say, do we also see a giant compass rose on the...
Just imagine the compass rose as 4 dead bodies.
So we could go look at these corpses.
Certainly, and now that we have eliminated the threats, as far as I can tell, could take another look at the rest of those huts.
You are nuts for huts, and I am willing to indulge it. Known hut enthusiast, Tarazi.
Guilty as charged.
Now I just want a bumper sticker with a snake on it that says, "I'm nuts for huts." That's it. Alright. What do these bodies look like? I guess I'm not going to just approach them with a plum in this world where everything has attacked me.
So if you'll turn your attention down to the southern portion of the map, which was obscured because it was a cutout depicting a different place, you'll see that on the back side of the temple, beneath the oversized steps, is the remains of a battle. It appears to have been one-sided, as 4 dead bodies with stark white skin and black hair, as if they've been drawn and only the extremes of color lie on the ground. Blood surrounds them, and the bodies are covered with wounds from bladed weapons, their own weapons glinting on the ground next to them, conspicuously free of blood. Beyond them, at the base of the temple, a stone door that was hidden from you from above sits slightly ajar. It's made from the same material as the steps themselves. You'd think if it was closed, it would probably be nearly invisible.
Do these bodies resemble... Have we run into anything that's looked like this before? I feel like out of character, Zach knows what these are, but I
don't think we have. Unless, did we run it? No, that was a Dark Stalker. That wasn't.
Yeah, so let's, what could we roll on this, Sam?
They would be knowledge local or knowledge planes. I would take either one.
I have one of those.
It's a nat 20 for a 23.
That is a 19, which is the highest I've ever rolled on any knowledge ever.
Nice.
Wow, I got the lowest roll out of the group with a 10 for an 18.
How does it feel?
I got a 31.
These 4 dead bodies appear to be Kyals, or fetchlings, as they might be more commonly known in some places. Descended from humans who were trapped in the shadow plane, Kyals are creatures of darkness and light intertwined. Generations of contact with that strange plane and its denizens have made them into something separate from humanity. They bear some physical differences from human, and they, I guess if you want to ask some questions on Kyals, feel free.
Is there a reason Titans would have a bunch of murdered ones just kind of hanging around? Like, do we know that those two groups don't like each other or anything like that? Any kind of conflict?
Well, they're both from the shadow plane, at least. And Velstrax don't seem to get along all that well with anybody. But other than that, I don't think you know of any specific beef.
I would like to hold on to the questions from my role at least, until we run into them later. Do they have anything on them? And unless one of the questions can be, are they playing dead and then they're going to stab me when I look in their cloak?
They definitely look quite thoroughly dead. You see they've got swords, they've got armor. Each of them, or 2 of them have longbows. There's shields. Looks like there's one of them who seems to have the biggest sword. There's 3 short swords and 1 long sword. The one with the long sword also has like a magical clear stone kind of floating around his no longer alive head.
Maybe we roll a spellcraft on that as well?
Yeah. An iron stone, that is. Ugh, I did not get very good. A 6 or a 25.
I got another 31.
Oh, nice.
That is a clear spindle Ioun stone.
Spindle. What's that one do?
Oh, wait. Is that the... Yeah, it's like you don't have to eat or drink.
Oh, it's like a ring of sustenance. Okay. That's cool.
That is cool. I mean, would be amazing in certain adventure paths, but I feel like that also has, fun RP value. Being able to offer that to somebody who lives out in the Scar or something like that.
Yeah, I kind of want to give that to Pater so he stops eating that stuff on his farm. I mean, we have to make con rolls every time he feeds us.
Yeah.
You also find amongst their effects a few sets of field rations. Looks like they've got 2 each. And that pleader who had the Ioun stone and the long sword has what appears to be a map, but it doesn't have any of the nation borders that you would recognize. So I would need a geography check to understand what you see in there.
Ooh, that's a better roll, but what is my geography? My geography is garbage, so that's actually worse. I got a 15 for a 17 with my +2 geography.
It's another nat 20 on a different dice for a 26.
Nice.
Well, I think it makes sense that the ranger would be able to figure this out. Despite it lacking any of the political borders or labels of any places that you recognize, this appears to be a map of Numeria. It's basically only recognizable from the shapes of the rivers and the lakes and like indications where mountains would be. There is a drawing up on the northern side of this drawing of Numeria, kind of depicting a hook with inward-facing spikes, and Tarazi's geography roll would be good enough to recognize that that's around where the city of Chesed is.
Again. It's like a plot hook on the map, literally. Love it.
Oh, those were just short swords, were they?
Yeah, you might want to roll on those short swords. I may have gotten a little bit ahead of myself. The short swords and the long sword and the armor.
Well, that time I got a 14, so that is a 33 on the weapons and the armor.
Well, each of these guys was wearing a +1 set of studded leather armor, and 3 of them had +1 silver short swords. The one who appeared to be their leader has a +1 silver chitinbane longsword.
Nice.
I think we should just all take one of those. Like, give either Kira or Tarazi the big one, and then the rest of us just take the little ones just to hang on to, because it is nice to have a silver weapon, as we've seen with these guys.
I mean, well, they aren't small, so logistically it gets into a thing with Brixby unless he wants to enlarge himself. Even though a short sword is basically a long sword.
I was going to say, doesn't a short sword just work like a long sword with him?
I don't know if that's how it works. Right in. But for right now, he'll cast spells.
I don't think there's anything officially in the rules for calling a sword a bigger sword kind of thing.
I feel like there used to be a thing like that in one of the other editions.
Yeah, I mean, there's like some fun things like that where if you're proficient in a bastard sword, you can use it in one hand. Mm-hmm. But like, you know, there's things like Titan Mauler, so it's like if a medium-sized character can't use a large weapon, I don't know. I'm not sure. But regardless, one of you should use that long sword. Maybe.
I'm not particularly attached to any size of sword. I can take a short sword, I can take a long sword.
I just mean like one of the marshals would probably benefit from the chitinbane longsword specifically.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind sheathing the null blade for now and giving it a shot just because the chainsaw is like 3d6 plus 25. So I think going down from a d10 to a longsword's what a d8 isn't a huge
Sounds good to me.
deal.
So I did figure out in 3rd edition D&D, you had stuff like a medium dagger would count as a small short sword, and a medium short sword would count as a small long sword. But they got rid of that in 3.5, and Pathfinder kept the 3.5 rules. So there is nothing that lets it by the rules. Brixby couldn't, like, pretend it was a long sword for him.
Yeah. Fair.
Do you want to roll a survival to see if anyone's been through this door anytime recently?
All right.
Don't worry, the 20s are over. That's a 2 for a 12.
It's hard to tell how long it's been. I mean, somebody opened that door, just like somebody killed these Kyles, but hard to say if they came back out again or how long ago it was.
This door. Did you want to take a look? Again, big stuff.
I'm on it. Nope, cocked. There we go. 13 plus 10, 23 plus 19, 40, 42? Is it 42 again? Amazing. 42.
With a 42, the door definitely doesn't seem to be locked. It's left a little bit open, so I guess you know it's not locked, and it doesn't seem to be trapped. It does seem like the room beyond is a little bit smelly.
It's a little gross in there.
Brixby's gonna recast shield.
Why?
Well, it's smelly.
Seeing Brixby cast shield, Kira's also going to cast shield. Because it's the cool thing to do.
Anti-smell
I'll
shield.
recast lead plates.
Do you want me to haste everybody again before we go in? It'll last 11 rounds.
We could, if we're gonna do some round by level buffing, it's gonna be really funny. We're gonna do all these buffs. We're gonna open the door and there's gonna be nothing in there.
Yeah.
This is gonna be like
I mean, I
dirty
can cast
laundry.
haste a million times.
Better fast than sorry. Better swift than sorry, I guess. I will also cast a round by level spell then at the same time. I'm gonna cast Invisibility Greater, but let's open the door then.
Anybody who wants to can click on the door. As you pop open this door, you can see directly across from the entrance there's a bizarre statue about 20 plus feet into the room. A skeletal humanoid form carved from stone with antlers protruding from the top of its head. This figure is hunched over as if stooped with age, leaning on a wooden staff that has begun to rot out from under it, and draped in crumbling, moldering furs and leathers. Niches in the ornately carved walls of this inner temple sanctum hold crumbling and possibly ancient herbs and incense, along with small, empty glass bottles and vessels, and ancient fetishes for the god caller's incomprehensible rituals. This room smells of stale smoke, and most of its contents are obscured by the floor-to-ceiling stone structures which may be holding the ceiling aloft, or they may simply be providing eccentric-looking storage.
Let's keep moving.
Alwyn is going to attempt to roll a very fast, hasted roll on this thing. Would that be religion?
Yeah, you could roll religion on that.
That is a 10 on the die for a 19. On the weird skull guy.
I don't think you know the deal with this skull guy.
See if my knowledge skull guy is at all better. Nope, that's a 24.
It's just a weird skull guy. The staff doesn't appear to have all that much structural integrity, so if you try to take it, it'll just kind of break.
All right. Can I cast detect magic on the statue? Is it magical?
It definitely appears to be magical.
If I concentrate on the spell, can I figure out which parts that are magical? Is it a staff? Is it the antlers? Or is it just like the whole thing?
It seems like the whole thing is some kind of magical thing. As you're checking this statue out and checking out the center of the room, you do start to hear footsteps coming down the corridor from either side of the room. And then just after a moment of that, you hear bonjour once again, my friends. It has not been so entirely long, has it?
I'm invisible. I'm not saying anything.
No?
Bonjour. Friend, Hirsek.
Let's see, I assume, dear Brixby is around here somewhere, of course. Brixby, you could show yourself. We are all friends here. Notably, on the opposite side of the room, as Hirsek has appeared, kind of blocking the path on the south side of the room, on the north side of the room, there is a different, familiar, deathly pale figure, blocking the hallway in much the same fashion, as it seems Alaris Zaleshi, or what remains of her, is standing there and staring in her silent, creepy sort of way.
Okay, so where's the last one? Oh, there she is.
There is no time for talking. I think it's time for shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's a surprise round, we're taking it.
Yeah, Alwyn would not. The second he sees,
Zaleshi.
what's her face behind her? No, the one.
Little Nicky.
Little Nicky?
Yeah, oh yeah, Nick Shariel.
Yeah. Nick Shariel.
Nick Shariel has walked her way up into view on the north side behind Alaris. It sounds like everybody wants to roll for initiative.
Yeah. Yeah, he would just immediately start attacking Nick Shariel.
I don't know why. She's nice.
And is that Nargan Haravex over there too?
That might just be.
Oh God, we're gonna die in here.
No.
I didn't see him.
We are in trouble.
Silly me spending all this time looking at level 13 and not a backup character.
Yeah.
Where is Nargan's initiative bonus? That's pretty good. All right, so Brixby, what did you get on the initiative?
We're back to the 2s. Got a 2 for a 10.
That is not what you want to hear in this
Nope.
type of situation. How about the nostalgic Kira?
24.
That's pretty good. How about the uncertain Alwyn?
The uncertain Alwyn got a 17 for a 24, which I think I have a lower thing than Kira, so she's ahead of me.
All right, and how about the sly Tarazi?
Sly Not Spry, 7 for a 10.
All right, that applies for the rest of the Snake Squad as well. It's going to be nice and complicated to have everybody on top of each other. We will be starting with a surprise round. So who all was going to just start shooting the instant they saw Alaris? I know Alwyn was going to.
I was
Well, he was the instant he saw Nick Shariel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was ready to start a blasting. As soon as we saw Zaleshi, actually.
Yeah, Kira was cool until Nick Shariel came in.
All right.
Krause doesn't know these people except Hersek,
That's true. So,
so he was not ready.
all right. And Asuma also doesn't know them. So I think we've got Brixby, Alwyn, and Kira. I guess Kira is first initiative-wise with a, you can take a standard or move action. Just not super useful for you right now.
Yeah, let me look this thing up. I can cast a spell.
Yeah.
As a standard? Yeah.
Okay, I want to try this one then. Let's see if this works. It's called Force Hook Charge. You create a hook of force that strikes the target and drags you to a space adjacent to it. Make a ranged touch attack against the target. No idea how to do that, so we're going to have to see how that works. But I want to try and shoot myself over next to Nick Shariel. Touch attack, there it is. Ranged touch attack. See it. Okay, so I'm going to try this. I'm going to make a ranged touch attack against Nick Shariel with this D20. Come on, D20. Whoa, that's a natural 20. Yes. 35. Does 35 work?
Yeah, 35 will hit her flat-footed touch AC.
Ah. So, Kira, looks over at clocks Nick Shariel, and before anyone can say anything, almost seems to react without thinking. And this vibrant, purple, light shoots out of her, wraps around Nick Shariel, and then drags Kira forward as she, raises her chainsaw. I don't think she can actually use the chainsaw. I think she can just use damage, but flavor text. She can just use the hook for damage. Whether or not the touch attack hit drags you in a straight line to a square adjacent to the target, so I'm going to do that. Shoop. Gosh, I hope I don't regret this. Sorry, let me go back to the spell text. That you can take attacks of opportunity on that. The pulling hook keeps you from falling apart. If the touch attack succeeds, the target takes 1 point of force damage per caster level. So what is that, 13? No, 12. So 12 points of damage, and I move, and then you can take attacks of opportunity.
Well, they're all flat-footed, so let me just check if... Does Alaris have combat reflexes? No. So you're good. No attacks
Cool.
of opportunity.
And I can still free action, right? Can I rage?
Yeah.
Great. I would like to rage and then scream in Nixariel's face, I'm going to kill you. And then try and do that next time on my turn.
All right, she's smiling.
Ugh, God, I hate her so much.
Well, you're in a good spot for killing, just generally speaking. How about Alwyn?
Okay, Alan was going to do a different thing, but he knows how much damage Kira can put out in a round, so he's going to not do the thing he was originally going to do. Instead, he's going to try to help her, and he just locks eyes with her, and he's just thinking of Asher, and she is going to need to make me I believe this is a will. Yep, she is going to need to make me a will save.
All right, is this an enchantment?
It is, let's see. It is an enchantment compulsion mind affecting.
All right. That is a natural 20 on the will save.
That is a waste of a spell then. That would have been so good if that one had gotten through. I was trying to hit her with Sensory Overload.
That would have been very solid on her.
Yeah, she would have basically been unable to do anything stuck next to Kira. That will be his turn, though.
All right, that is going to bring us to Brixby's surprise round.
All right, Brixby is going to go against his rogue logic on this one and hope that this is a good investment. Hirsek can't see the eyes that Brixby is making at him, but there's like a little bit of, maybe the flame was there, but that flame now is not love. It is the passion of hate. It's what could have been. And then he is going to pull out a little bit of flash powder, and I need you to roll a will save for me.
Will save from old Hirsek. Only a 17.
You have failed my wandering star motes, which means you're now dazed. So Brixby, taking Hirsek out of the fight for the moment, is going to move away. And that is the end of my turn.
All right, which brings us to the top of round 1, and the hostile Hirsek Kaio is actually first up. So if he is dazed, all he gets to do is roll that save?
Mm-hmm. At the end of his turn.
All right. Well, how about a 21?
21 makes it, but hey, still.
He lost his turn. He lost the jump on everybody. Well, the post-surprise jump.
Yep, and now it jumps to the next nearest enemy, which I actually don't think it'll work against Nargan, so it's just going to, I guess, jump again next round. But yeah, the Wandering Star Motes, when a target makes a will save, the Star Motes jump to the next enemy in 30 feet, who now must make will saves every round or then be dazed. Anytime they make its will save, it jumps to the next enemy within 30 feet. They can only be affected once. Once the target has saved, it can't be affected again. Once there's no new targets within 30 feet, the spell immediately ends.
All right. Well,
I mean, theoretically, Aris is within 30 feet. Would it jump? Though I guess it would have to jump to the closest enemy first, even if that enemy normally wouldn't be affected.
I'd prefer to play it that way. Even if it does disadvantage us around, it just seems like...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it'll jump to her next turn, because it'll still be within 30.
All right. Well, that brings us to Kira. You just hooked yourself over to Nixariel, your dear, dear friend, famous for ripping off the skin of your other dear friend. I assume
Just
you're
seconds
gonna
before
kinda
he died.
give her a high five and walk away.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to give her a high five, Sam. I'm going to give her 4 high fives with the chainsaw. Haha, this dice has rolled 3 natural 20s for me tonight. This is the best.
Yes.
I'm going to kill her. Come on, roll another confirming thingy. That's 31.
31 will confirm.
Yes. Okay, great. Okay, so that's a 33. Let's see. 15 plus 18 is also 33. Great. So that's 3 hits so far, Sam? Oh, a crit and a hit.
Yeah.
Okay. This is so satisfying. This is going to be 16 plus 13 for a 29.
29 isn't going to quite do it.
So close. Okay. And then my last one, that's going to be a 24. So crit and a hit.
Crit and a hit.
96 plus 75. Oh, I really wish I'd hit 4 times, but I'll take it. 111 points of damage against Ixariel. I would love to scream in her face while I'm doing this.
Is so much damage. She's still standing, but dang.
Of course she is. Of course she is. That's fine. Next time. I think which is what Kira will say as she picks up this blade to go again just next time.
All right. That'll bring us to the uncertain Alwyn.
Okay, the uncertain Alwyn is going to take a step to the west so that he can see her sec. And he is going to look at him and Nargan and say, "This isn't your fight. Sorry. And I need both of them to make reflex saves, please."
All right. Hersick first. He gets a 29 on his reflex save.
That is a save, unfortunately.
And Nargan, 27.
Okay, they both save, but the 4 squares, the 2 that they're in and the 2 in front of them, suddenly open up into a 70-foot pit with a 5-foot thing of acid at the bottom of it as he casts Acid Pit. And they would be shunted to either side of it from their saves. And that will be his turn.
All right, and that brings us to Ixariel, who is staring into Kira's face with 4 or 3, or I might even just be 2 horrible chainsaw wounds on her, still smiling away with her unsettling smile, and she just says, "Why are you so angry? What have I ever done to you?" And then she's just going to take a 5-foot step back and cast Heal on herself.
Coward!
And all of her wounds just melt away, and the smile on her face just gets a little bit bigger.
Oh, I'm gonna kill her. I'm gonna kill her.
And that brings us to Nargan. Nargan Harovex, who was horribly vexed when you all didn't free him from the choking tower. And as such, he says, "You had your chance. You should have let me go. I would have fought for you as I fight for them. But now I shall kill you all. I need will saves from the entirety of the party."
Is this a speller ability?
It is a spell.
Q. Oh my god.
Is it mind affecting?
Wow.
It is not mind affecting.
At least that rules out a couple of real nasty ones.
So since Zach, we got your reaction, what?
I rolled a 1.
All right, well,
For a 13.
you have just been slowed.
Oh man, so I'm normal speed now.
Yeah, so it's not so bad.
Yeah.
It's just a little dispelly-do.
Mm-hmm.
How about Alwyn? You're closest to Brixby.
Alwyn got a 15 for a 22.
All right, so you're still speedy. How about Tarazi?
Oh, Drowsy and Levi both got a 12.
All right, so you are back to normal speed. Asuma is also back to normal speed. How about Kira?
An 11 for a 25. 25.
25 means you're still speedy.
Still speedy.
Not so bad. All right, and that's going to bring us up to...
Question.
Yeah.
My question is, make a reflex save, please, because he ended his turn standing next to the pit.
Oh, he sure did. You'd think he would know, being a spellcaster.
The pile of bugs. He doesn't know anything.
Let me just check one thing. Okay. His reflex save is a 21.
Still just barely passes. He's fine. We're looking for a 19 to fall in. Oh, actually, no. Acid save is 21. I'm thinking of regular pit. So he saves exactly.
All right. So, Laris is going to just take a little 5-foot step in between her dear friend Nick Shariel and her dear friend Kira, and in her unspeaking, rather freaky type of way, just swift action, arcane strike, and then she is going to roll concentration to spell combat, spell strike. Yeah, that's gonna work. So she's going to try to make a hit on Kira.
Kira says, literally, who even are you?
It is a natural 20. Hold to confirm. There's only a 23 to confirm.
Oh, we might be okay. We might be okay. We are okay. Oh, it got shield. Got shield.
On the blur, we have a 24.
Okay.
I'm going to roll this damage with the dice roller because it is complicated. Okay, so Kira takes... I probably should have separated things out, but I guess she doesn't really have damage type resistances. It's a total of 31 damage, combination of frost, shock, and slashing, and Kira takes 5 bleed damage on her next turn. Don't forget about that.
We'll see.
I will say Kira does have a pretty decent amount of fire resist, I think, from something.
I do have fire resistance from a chainmail, but it didn't sound like any of that was fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, no fire. Just cold and shock. The second slash is not going to hit. The third slash is also not going to hit. But at least she got 1 in on ya.
It's fine.
And
Kira's ignoring this.
And she's interposed herself, which is really what she wanted. That brings us to the Rosie Brixby.
All right. The Rosie Brixby is going to... let's see. He's got a pretty decent line of sight to Nikshariel. So he is going to turn and cast a Scorching Ray against her. Do I need to roll spell resistance? I can't remember.
No spell resistance for her.
Okay. Against flat-footed touch, that's a 17, 28, and a 30.
Those will all hit.
Would you like the fire and the sneak attack separately?
Doesn't look like anything has to be separated for her.
So let's do all of that together. It's 12d6 of fire, and then it's 6d6 of sneak. All right, that's 61 points of damage. And then I am going to move 5 feet to the north. And that'll end my turn.
She didn't like that. Okay, that brings us to Snake Squad.
All right. Seeing as everyone's shooting at and otherwise trying to murder Nick Shariel, Tarazi's going to call out to have Levi come around the other side of her and just take a single chomperoo. And then Tarazi is going to stride on up to Alaris, who doesn't look anything like a Leshy, and make a single strike with his newly equipped +1 silver Titan Bane long sword. Will he get the Bane benefits on this strike?
Yeah.
He's going to need it with that roll. That was a 29 total.
Yeah, that gets her.
That is only 18 total on 46 plus 7. But it's silver, so that should stop her from stitching.
Yeah. And those wounds don't look like they're healing themselves. Alright, I think Asuma is gonna... And she doesn't exactly know that Brixby's taken up the square that she wants. She's gonna walk across this middle ground here just to line up a shot on Hersik, where he can't get her. Well, she's gonna shoot him. And what is his touch AC? Because...
4.
She actually misses him. Natural 2, everybody.
No, because he's like a swashbuckler or something, so he's got high dex.
He's a nimble fella. And that brings us back up to Hersik, who now does get a turn at the top of round 2. I think he is going to run up, and then he's thinking about going up behind a big snake. He's trying to make a decision here. I think he's going to go double move and bring himself just like into this mess with the caster, Alwyn, that he can see. And he's going to say, Brixby, I know that you're here. You might as well reveal yourself. And that'll be the end of him. Brings us to Kira's turn.
Well, there's this person in the way of Kira's real target, so I guess we'll just hack on through her first. Right? Yeah, I can't reach. It's going to be messy. So, full attack. I can't even remember her name. Doesn't matter to me. Yep, that's it. 20, so 32 on the first hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
27 on the second one.
That will not hit.
Okay. 26 won't hit. And 22 won't hit. So just one. How disappointing. I guess I'll just roll 3 physical dice. But they're gonna be pretty ones. $10 plus 25? Yeah, 35 points of damage against hilarious Leshy.
35. All right. And Alwyn.
What do I think this guy's saves are? Can I roll a local on Hersek?
Yeah, sure.
It's not great. That wouldn't get me anything, I'm sure. That's only a 12.
Yeah, I mean, you know the guy, but you don't really know the guy.
Yeah, I was hoping I could roll high and then maybe try to guess one of his low saves from like anything about him.
Just didn't spend enough good quality time together.
Does he have a sword out?
He does have a sword out.
Okay. Then Alwyn, I have a plus 18 cast offensively versus a DC 17, so I actually don't need to roll that because I can roll a natural 1 and still pass it by 2. But he is going to cast Burning Disarm onto Hirsek's sword. So this causes an object to instantly become red hot. A creature holding the item may attempt to reflex save to drop it and take no damage. Otherwise, the hot metal deals 1d4 points of damage per caster level, maximum 5d4. So basically, I'm going to heat his sword up, and he can either choose to drop it or take 5d4 points of fire damage, depending on what he wants to do.
All right. Let me just check one thing here. Yeah, he's gonna hold it.
Does he have an oven mitt on his character sheet, Sam?
So give me that 5d4.
11 points of fire damage, so not really that much. I was kind of hoping he would decide to drop the sword.
All right, that doesn't all go through.
As a move action, Alwyn is going to draw out a wand from his handy haversack.
All right.
And that will be his turn.
That brings us to Nixariel, and she's thinking about things here. She doesn't feel great about being surrounded, I think. So I think what she's going to do is she's going to cast a spell on a radius around her. She's going to need will saves from Kira, Tarazi, and Levi. And I guess she's got line of effect for Brixby and I guess everybody, really.
I'm going to make the attack of opportunity first with Levi.
Well, she's casting defensively, of course.
Let's roll back the tape.
Oh, man, are you kidding me? She knows her situation here.
She knows her situation. Let's get that roll.
All right, we're going to go... why don't we go north to south on these saves? We'll start with Kira.
That's a 24.
All right, that's pretty good. We'll save the effects for the end. How about Snake Squad?
You said will save?
Yeah.
And is it mind affecting?
Let's see if it's mind affecting. I do not believe so, no.
Complete and utter trash. 15 and 11.
Cool. So those are definitely both fails. How about Brixby?
16 for 26.
All right, Brixby's got a pass. Asuma fails. Alwyn.
Alwyn got an 11 for an 18.
Okay, so Alwyn fails. Let's see. How many hit dice does Levi have?
10.
Okay, so he's safe from the worst of this. Let me just roll a couple d6. Let's see who. Kira passed. Levi and Tarazi both failed. Asuma failed. And Alwyn failed.
Yes.
They are all dazed for one round, and their strength scores are reduced by 12 for the next 6 rounds. That is not damage. That is not drain. That is the temporary reduction in score.
We can do on this reflexing.
I do not know how to apply that in Hero Lab.
Because if it's not damage, then that means it's not going to, like, when my strength drops to nothing, it's not going to do the same thing as strength damage, is it? Like, where I would just be, like, on the ground unconscious, or would it? Because that would reduce my strength score to below 0.
That I don't know. I don't think it can reduce it to less than 0, so probably you're just in the situation where you literally can't move and are encumbered.
Well, when your strength goes to 0, I think you just go unconscious.
Oh, is that what it is?
No,
Yeah.
that's mental.
Yeah.
Okay. His strength, you just can't move.
Yeah, I think it's only mental abilities that make you automatically go unconscious when they hit 0. And con, when it hits 0, you die. But
Yeah, con kills you.
no, strength 0, too weak to move in any way, and is unconscious.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Because it happened to him before, and he had to have somebody else fix him. I was going to say, we either did it wrong on an earlier episode, or it... Yeah.
It's Dex that's not unconscious.
But if it's not considered damage, does it still do that?
There's an ability score temporary adjustment in Hero Lab under adjustments. I'm curious to see. Neither of my characters are going to get low enough for it to do that, but I wonder what it'll do if you apply that.
Okay. It definitely pops my carry capacity, so I'm assuming if it's affecting that stuff, then it would be the same as damage, so he would be unconscious, I'm guessing.
I think that's probably the case. So I think Alwyn is unconscious.
That is a really nasty thing for something with a save in the 20s, because that would take out any spellcaster in existence. Like, there are not very many spellcasters that have above 12 strength, even several levels higher than us. That's a nasty spell.
Suma is also unconscious. That was a big one, but it was a level 7 spell. Peeking behind the curtain there. Now, Nargan is going to cast Fly on himself and fly over the pit. He's just chilling there, up in the air a little bit. And Alaris is going to roll to cast defensively and just barely make it. And then she is going to cast a spell combat, spell strike. She's going to do a spell I should have done the first round. 26 to hit.
I think that is meets beats.
29 on the blur. Once again, very complicated damage roll. And I do need a fortitude save from Kira as she gets hit not just with a slash of the sword, but also with a blast of force, for a total of 37 damage.
Oof. And you said a fort is 24?
Yeah, I think you basically need to nat 1 to fail this save. You were not knocked backwards by her force punch delivered with her sword.
Great. Love to hear it.
Slash number 2 is going to miss, and slash number 3 is also going to miss. So once again, she just lands the one hit. It is a good one. Brixby, you're up. You're invisible. This room just got pretty ugly.
Yeah. Yeah, and Brixby can't just, grab folks and dimension door out, so the only way out is through. I am going to roll against Hirsek's flat-footed touch, because he's going to keep casting Scorching Ray. So, versus flat-footed touch, that is 17, 28, and 15.
These are all on Hirsek.
Mm-hmm.
Am I so bad at finding his ACs? The 15 misses. No, wait, flat-footed it hits. Never mind.
Excellent. So, is there any reason you would want the sneak and fire separate?
Yeah, I guess do the fire separate. It's a little resisty-do.
Alright, so I'm going to roll all the fire together and you can just take it out 3 times then.
Alright.
For that one. And then this is for the sneak. So that was 57 points of fire damage and 28 points of sneak.
Alright, that does a lot of damage to him. That's a big total number.
He's going to move from his spot to... There's not a lot of good options here. He's gonna move to behind here a sec. Wait, why can't I move? Oh, it's because I have the wrong thing selected. We're still hasted, so... Alright, and that is my turn.
All right, that brings us up to Snake Squad.
Yeah, weirdly enough, the minus 12 to strength is brutal. But let's see if we can get a nat 20 for Levi to attack Nictariel. No, a natural 17 is not much, and you're working with a plus 6 right now. So a 23 misses. Nat 20 on the second attack? Definitely. No. And... yeah. We're gonna make some silver chitin bane strikes against Alaris, because, if I can take her down, then Kira can just step right on top of her face and murder Nictariel, is my plan. Yes, my plan is to delegate, if anyone is listening. But they were all garbage. Unless a 23 somehow hits.
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. Yeah, minus 12 strength. Don't recommend it. How many rounds was that for? Just the one?
That was 6 rounds.
Just the one?
So
Got it.
That's one down. So, Suma doesn't get a turn because she is unconscious. And at the end of round 2, things are not looking great for the very capable 4. I'm going to bed.
Night, Sam.
All right. Good night, Sam. And
Night,
all of
Sam.
the cast of characters that are here.
Sleeping characters.
Night, 300 people in the room.
Good night, Sam. Good night, Greater Invisibility, Patchy Blue Rat Folk. I know you're there too.
Against the machine. Against the machine.
Pot Against the Machine is property of Network Against the Machine LLC, all rights reserved. Pathfinder and the Iron Gods Adventure Path are property of Paizo Publishing. See their website for more details. Theme Against the Machine was written and performed by our own Zach. See the show notes for additional music and sound licensing. If you enjoyed the show, we encourage you to leave us a review. So as
We
you're...
poke it?
Does it look like we can... Oh, sorry.
What are you saying?
I said, can we poke it? But that was facetious.
Yeah, you can poke it all you want.
You were going to say
ask if we
something.
can take the staff off it.
All right, it is the Snake Squad's turn. I'm not sure where the barking dog is.
No, it's here. Snickerdoodle.
Well, it's Snickerdoodle's turn.
I like that you said that like it was his first and last name. Snickerdoodle.
Short for Snickolas.
Nicholas R. Doodleton.
Why is this got noise in the background?
You-
Making me
Are you
nervous.
also bringing funk or just noise?
Just the funk. Primarily the funk.
My waveforms look all dirty.
This filthy waveforms.
I like to turn on a white noise machine before I record because it keeps my anxiety down.
Crank the AC up too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I thought you were being serious. I was like, really? Does that help?
No. It does not help.
It does
Have a
not.
window unit in your room, even though it's not attached to anything. It's just full blast.
It's just running, pumping the air from one side of the room to the other.